over the last month, I've been using the community post on YouTube quite a bit to post different polls to just get people's thoughts about a variety of hobby-related topics. My idea with this was basically just to see how it works and to see if it's a space where we can have some interesting kind of shared learning with each other and just share thoughts on different hobby-related topics that are of interest to me and that I think will be of interest to others. So this is going to be the first video in a series. Originally, I was going to do this just one video, but since I did this every day, like 30 days of them, there's a lot of things to share, and then I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion, a little bit of a talk about each of them and share my own thoughts about some of this. So I'm actually going to be splitting this up into 3 different videos, and we'll just go through and see what you guys think about some of these different topics. First question is, do you think Fanatics is going to buy Panini at some point? There was 69 votes here. 77% of people said yes. 23% of people said no. Now, keep in mind, this was back at the beginning of September. I think we have heard some additional things since that time where this is seeming more and more likely. Some content creators have said it's almost a guaranteed thing, but, haven't revealed their sources with that sort of thing. And others have said, it's still unknown. We don't know for sure. So it's still not a known thing for sure. My own opinion is it seems likely. It does seem like Panini is tying up loose ends. It seems to be. That's my impression of things. So who knows? And honestly, I don't care that much. I don't necessarily like some of the things Panini has done, but I also don't necessarily like the idea of too much monopoly stuff going on in the hobby, which definitely seems to be happening. So, I don't know. So I guess I do have thoughts or feelings about it, but it's not something I'm going to be able to control. So it's not something I think about too deeply. My next question was actually about YouTube Shorts, because another thing I'm doing at the same time is I uploaded 30 different days of YouTube Shorts. So I just wanted to see what people's thoughts were on YouTube Shorts. So this one, I gave 4 different options. 30% of people said they like YouTube Shorts and watch them regularly. 38% said they like them all right, but don't watch them often. 18% said I don't like them, but there's a rare one that catches my interest. And 15% say I find them really annoying and avoid them completely. So I'm glad 68% of you are okay with it, because I think I am going to continue to try a little bit. I'm probably going to have some gaps where I'm going to have, experiment for 30 days in a row, see how it affects my channel's growth, and then do like a couple of weeks where I don't do anything to kind of compare the two and just see if it's worth it, if it's worth my effort to put in. I'm not good at the YouTube Shorts necessarily, because they need more sparkle and pizzazz and kaboom, and I'm more about like hanging out and chatting, which isn't really what the short space is about. Do you think the $12 million plus sale of the 52 Mantle will influence the card market at large in any ways? 56 people voted. 48% said yes, 52% said no. So really almost a 50-50 split here, which is quite interesting to me. But I would have voted no, because, I feel like this is a realm, this upper tier, like the upper tier of the upper tier, is a realm that's not even necessarily related to collectors, related to flippers, related to people who are involved with sports cards regularly. It's related to a very small handful of ultra billionaires who have, who are looking for different places to put their money and invest their money in. And that doesn't have much to do with what goes on in the hobby at large. This hair of mine back there keeps looking weird. Sorry, keep messing with my hair. I do that sometimes in videos occasionally. I think I just need to get a haircut. This is getting to be a mop. Maybe it could do a little bit for SGC, but in the realm of vintage, they're already, well respected and well known. So even that I don't think matters that much for them. Maybe a tiny little bit. Do you collect any cards from odd categories, such as any of the following or others? Naruto TCG got 0%. Other less common TCG cards got 7%. Tennis 20%, golf 20%, and nope, just normal sports and or normal non-sports categories got 54%. So I've just kind of been curious, if people collect anything like this, if there's a collector's community. I know there is a collector's community. I just don't think they're coming to my channel necessarily. Next question. Have you ever bought a large collection of cards from someone, like thousands of cards? If not, is it something that you would do if you were presented with a reasonably decent opportunity, like a chasing cardboard kind of situation? Would you do this? 8% of the 60 people said I do it often. 25% said I have done it once or a couple of times. 48% said I haven't done it but would love to try. And 18% said I haven't done it and have no desire to ever do it. So that's interesting, Alan. I would put this one as I was part of the 48%. I've never done this, but would love to do this. In fact, I think once I move back to the States, I'm going to try to do this sometimes. To me, as much as I'd probably get like a sore back from all like the bending over, and as much as I'd probably be looking through mostly junk, I just think it would be an absolute blast to do that. So I definitely want to have some experience and gain some skill in that over time. Yeah, I think it would be something I'm going to be focusing on over time. Next question is, what's the approximate value of the most expensive card you have in your own personal collection? Out of 87 votes, 1%, so maybe one person said 6 digits plus, I'm rich beyond your wildest dreams. So I got at least one person who's either a liar or a super wealthy dude watching, or dudette watching this channel. 9% said 5 digits plus, my dude. Wow. 46% said I got a card in the 4 digits. 33% have said I got a 3-digit card or a few, and 10% said I'm all about the lower end and it's all just 1 and 2-digit gems. For me as well, you know, if I was saying this, I'd probably be I got a 3-digit card or a few. I don't think I've never owned a 4-digit sports card. By choice. You know, I think as far as money making, I've made videos in the past that talk about how I focus on the lower end, minimizing risk and, you know, maximizing my ability to participate in the hobby. If I was doing large stuff, instead of, you know, I might have to just have one card and then just hold on to that and do something with it at some point. That sounds a little boring, you know, if I'm actually, because I enjoy the ongoing involvement with the hobby, not just having a card for my collection, which I do have some, but I enjoy the ongoing participation of doing stuff in the hobby. All right, I'm back with the hat. I swear, when I wasn't wearing this hat, I just looking at myself in this camera, I just keep messing with my hair because it's getting so long. So I'm going back with the hat, so I stopped doing that. I apologize if that was bothering you. All right, let's go on to the next one. Have you ever been cheated while buying cards online? This one had very few votes, which is interesting, a lot less votes than the other one. So this one had 52% said yes and 48% said no. I'm hoping that the fact that a lot of people didn't vote means that there's a lot of other no's that just didn't say anything, because that's really unfortunate. 52% said yes to this question. I mean, there is a lot of you know, that's one of the problems with a transactional culture of sports cards that has become largely online. You never know who it is that you're going to be buying from, which is something that really lacks. That's why, you know, I'm thinking like certain platforms, you know, like a Whatnot or a Loop or some of these places where you can buy cards from people, but you can kind of get to know them a little bit. Like I see the draw to that, you know, because it's not just it's a person-to-person interaction in a way. It's still through the internet, of course, but it's a little bit more authentic, a little bit more personal. So I kind of can see that, and I kind of feel like that's something that is needed, you know, and maybe even eBay would go that direction over time, but I'm not sure. Or maybe if people are just going to be moving over time to, you know, if they have these experiences on a place like eBay, they're going to move into a place where they can trust the people a little bit more. You know, if you know somebody who's selling on Loop or who's selling on Whatnot, and you know you can trust them, then you know you're going to go back to that place just like you would your local card shop or something like that, because you can build a trust, you can build a relationship. So to me that makes sense.